Greetings, young true believers. Today we're going to talk about Karl Popper's The Problem of Induction. And interestingly, Karl Popper's problem of induction is David Hume's problem of induction, the one that Hume described in 1739. So, very quickly, let's recap what the difference is between deductive and inductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning involves reasoning whose conclusion is proven or demonstrated beyond a reasonable doubt. So, uh, for example, 2 plus 2 equals 4 is a deductive argument. If it's Sunday, then we're not in class. It is Sunday, so therefore we're not in class. That's a deductive argument. In fact, that's a form of deductive reasoning known as, or a valid deductive argument known as modus ponens. Inductive reasoning, by contrast, is a mode of reasoning whose conclusion is never proven or demonstrated. It is only more or less probable. From the fact that you have observed 80 crows in your life and every single one of those 80 crows was black, you make a generalization from particular experience, right, to a universal claim, therefore all crows are black. Well, Hume pointed out there's a severe problem with that kind of reasoning. So from your premise, I have observed 80 crows in my life and they've all been black, to the conclusion, therefore all crows are black, what we find is that there's an enthymeme being a term for a hidden or suppressed premise. And the hidden or suppressed premise is just this. We assume that nature is uniform, in Hume's words. Another way of saying that is that the future will resemble the past. But there's no way to show that without A, being viciously circular, right? Or doing as Kant does, assuming that inductive reasoning must be true a priori, that is to say prior to all experience, which doesn't seem like in retrospect like that holds up, right? So we're faced with the unfortunate conclusion that inductive reasoning is not rationally justified, and moreover, we can't dispense with it. As Hume points out, we need it. We have to have inductive reasoning to do science, but at the end of the day, it's not rationally justified. And in your text, you might have skimmed the Nelson Goodman article on the new riddle of induction, in which he talks about a hypothetical material called grue, which is an emerald, which is green at one time and blue at a subsequent time. And the point of Goodman's article is to show that we don't, as Plato said, carve nature at the joints. And what's going on with the carved nature at the joints metaphor? Plato famously argued the easiest way to dissect something is to carve it at the joints. So those are the weakest spots, right? But no, Goodman's point is that nature doesn't come prepackaged like that for us. We are the ones who impose our understanding on it, and the natural world is recalcitrant to that. It resists it, right? That it not actively, mind you, but it resists it insofar as we find oftentimes that our theories aren't a good fit, right? They don't actually mirror what's going on in the observable world. So what's all this got to do with Karl Popper? Well, Karl Popper completely agrees with Hume. He absolutely agrees. And he concludes, let's just dispense with induction, right? Let's not, Hume's recommendation was you got to bite the bullet. Inductive reasoning isn't justified, but, we have no substitutes, so let's just go with it. Popper, by contrast, says we can dispense with it, all right? We can just dispense with it. On his view, science follows the method of conjectures and refutations. This is what's known as Popper's falsificationism, right? Scientists propose bold conjectures and then devise severe tests to falsify them. And if indeed they are false, right, then they're rejected. A theory that withstands such tests is not confirmed or made probable by its very successful predictions. Instead, it is what Popper calls corroborated, right? In short, what corroborated means is it lives to fight another day, right? But we can, on Popper's view, just successfully dispense with induction because, again, there is no non-circular way to justify it except to go Kant's route, which just doesn't seem, on the face of it, to hold up. He thinks he's got a better alternative, and again, that's his theory of falsificationism. Um, but again, we're going to talk all week about inductive reasoning. Just know that it is and it always has been controversial material.